Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're looking at the Chesapeake and Ohio Greenbriers from Broadway Limited. They're brass hybrid series. I picked these two up from trainworld.com and they still have some in stock. I know there's people looking for different variations. I did notice they still have some variations in stock. This is both the Presidential Express, which is the paint scheme it was in when it was parked, and the Excursion Service, which is the last paint scheme I believe it ran in. So there are several schemes available of this, like I said. First time being made, I believe. That's not full brass. This is brass hybrid, meaning a lot of the parts are brass. There's just some plastic details like brake shoes and stuff like that so that you don't get shorts. But let's get into these boxes and see what's in there and what you get for an MSRP of $6.99. Now these boxes are long. They're about 19-20 inches long, just by me doing a rough measurement with a piece of paper. But we're gonna unleash the beast here. Oh man, that is heavy there. So, Broadway Limited operation manual, what you get standard in all Broadway Limited locomotives. 31 pages of information from configuration variables, sound functions, limited 1-year warranty card, a little flyer for choo-choo shoes, and a exploded parts diagram here of the Chesapeake and Ohio locomotive. That way if you have any issues you can coordinate with the Broadway Limited on which part it is and fix it yourself or send it in for service. Coming out of the box here, one thing I would highly advise on these before I even get them open, because I've already opened one for a Facebook video, you're going to want to drop a few drops of smoke in there just to be safe. These didn't seem to come with as much smoke unit fluid as normal, and I don't think it ran out. I don't know if it was just a mechanical issue, but the first one I unboxed on Facebook, the smoke unit stopped working very, very quickly. So that will keep everything lubricated, moist, so that it keeps the wick in there moist, so it catches things, and it will continue to smoke hopefully. We'll check on this review as well. You've got a tool for traction tires and a funnel, since we were just talking about smoke there. In the box, there's this nice felt they've started to add, and plastic, and then you've got the locomotive and tender all in one. Careful how I pick this up here. Alright, I know you guys love the turntable, but we will cover every inch of this locomotive anyway. Just going to do it a little more unorthodox. So we'll start with the green one. I'll show you this side of the green one, and then I'll show you the other side of the Excursion version 1. So nice and zoomed in. We'll start up the top. You got the flying number boards, bell, which has a metallic appearance. You do have classification lights that do not operate. They aren't illuminated. They have some sort of prism effect where they do catch the ambient light in the room and do appear to be illuminated at times. I've noticed this and mentioned it on other reviews. On the front, you got the smoke box door. You've got all the latch details, 614 on the front, the low mounted headlight there. You've got the pilot with the white and green contrasting handrails. As we go further down, you've got the actual pilot area. You've got an accessory hose, coupler cut lever. You've got magnetic couplers. White and green wheels. Greenbrier written on there. Builder's plate. Plumbing all along the side of this. All over the top, smokestack, whistle. More plumbing here. It's really nicely detailed. You got the boiler dome. Drive wheels and side rods are all nicely done with the white wheels, white wall on the wheels. Ton of plumbing on this back end here. Very, very eye-catching in this scheme. This scheme was more popular than I thought it would be because it never ran in this scheme. It is presently painted in this scheme, but I can kind of see why the colors really pop. So there are cab figures installed. Another view of more plumbing down by the firebox. And trailing trucks, just incredibly detailed. One thing that's a pet peeve of mine that they really did well on this is the deck plate is flat. It's not angled up to where the tender is not even with the deck, so that's very cool. You've got West Virginia on the side here, and an American flag type scheme. Wild and Wonderful was their slogan, I believe. Then you've got Greenbrier Presidential Express along the side with rivet detail, coal load, water hatch, and crew access ladder on the rear. Now the Excursion version had a longer tender with more coal capacity, I believe. There's also other versions that had shorter tenders. Quick look at the rear of this. You see all the plumbing, electrical plumbing to the light, rear light which is operational, rear coupler, coupler cut lever, the 2 access crew ladders between the bottom and then the one for the coal bunker, and you can even see the back of the cab here. The cab roof vent is fixed in this one. You do have cab sunshades as well, 614 and all the print, clear and legible. You do have backhead boiler backhead detail. It's just a little hard to see from these angles. This is top side looking down. You can see again all the detail on the top of the locomotive. And as we go over, we're now going to look at the other side detail on the Excursion version here. Side rods, a lot of the same top detail, but there are some differences. Paint scheme, obviously one of them that sticks out, Chesapeake and Ohio on the side of the tender. And again, like I mentioned before, some of the tenders have different lengths because there are different variations of this locomotive running. So all the available schemes, you can pick the one you would like. All right, we're going to fire this up. I just had to get the manual out of the box because I couldn't remember exactly what the fire up sequence was. It's F9 that does that. But we're going to listen to some other sounds, check headlight and the like. Headlight is extremely low mounted. Alright, just had to adjust the headlight housing. It looked like it had dislodged slightly. Just pressed it back in. What you hear was the dynamo whine a little bit. That fires up when you hit the headlight. We're going to go ahead and listen to some sounds here. Just a few random ones because Broadway Limited packs this decoder out with 28 functions. There's bell. Then you have whistle. Now there's F22, which will jump to another whistle. I believe there are 2 other whistles as well. I'll stick with that one for now. I did go over all the whistles on my Facebook page. If you want to watch that live stream, be sure to check it out. Got synchronized puffing smoke, as you see there. This unit seems to be doing well. Maybe my first unit just needed a few drops right away. I'm not sure. I went ahead and put 4 drops in this right away. I would suggest you do the same just to preserve the smoke unit. You have air pump, F4. F10, you have coal shovel. Or auger. F14, you've got passenger announcements. You have several different sounds, including freight announcements even.
Probably going to be late. How much work have you guys do? Have you got an EOT on your train? We're all mixed up here and ready to go.
So a lot of these sounds, you've got background sounds.
How much work have you
And this guy's kind of rude, he interrupted me. But basically you got background sounds, farm sounds, city farms, industrial sounds, several different sounds. And the thing I really like is you can record and play a macro with like function 26 and 27, I believe it is. So you can record a sequence, a horn sequence, speed and all that, and then play it back and just allow it to run around your layout. Just at one speed step. Sometimes it's hard to get these guys to shut up once you activate that feature. One speed step there, very smooth. A little hesitation around the corner. 2. 3. 4. And 5. If you get that real faint puffing, you can blow down the smokestack. Sometimes that clears things up a little bit. A little better puff there. 2. 3. 4. And 5. The smoke's kind of hanging around the smokestack a little more than I've seen on other models. There's your operation in forward and reverse. Just checking smoke unit in this other 614. And it is much more of a puffer, so that's good. I don't know if there's some CV settings. I know there is for heat. I don't know if there is for fan speed. But anyway, we've got this 614 now to finish out our tests. I've already checked coupler height. We're good there. NMRA gauge, good there. I do want to show you pull test on camera just to show you something, so we'll transition to that. Alright, let's move this guy. If he's anything like the rest of his Broadway Limited brethren, they pull like amazing. Probably should make sure it's hooked up first. That might help. Holy smokes. It's literally trying to pull this out of my hand. 9.5. That is insane. Might be a new high. I don't know. It's just crazy. 9.5. 15 regular freight cars per ounce. So you do the math. It's 135 plus cars being able to be pulled by this locomotive. Easily pull any passenger consist out there, brass or plastic. Freight, I mean, 135 cars, I think you're good. Well, that's going to wrap up my review of the Broadway Limited Greenbrier locomotive. Just for specifics, this is a Chesapeake and Ohio J3a. It's a 484 locomotive. Very good detail. Everything seems to be in place. Very minor issues. One of which was the headlight needed to just be pressed back in. It might have gotten thumped around in shipping. And the smoke units, be sure to drop a few drops in them right away to make sure the wick stays moist so that you have a good operating smoke unit. Some seem to puff a little more than others. That's the only thing I could find wrong with these. These are greatly detailed, nice running, good priced locomotives, in my opinion. So I will leave you with a run-by of the Excursion version and the Presidential Express version. I think the two most popular versions they have of this locomotive. And we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.